You're listening to the Communications Business Advisor podcast, the podcast for communications professionals in the corporate world who are committed to advancing their work and our field's reputation as critical business advisors that are not only invited to the decision-making table, but are required there. I'm your host, Tara McDonough. Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Communications Business Advisor podcast. We have a special bonus episode for all of you today. So this one is a hot topic in Raise the Tide, and it's one that I have some permission to share with all of you. I have two folks with me today who happen to be members of Raise the Tide, who are passionate advocates of the same thing that I'm going to talk about, which is life support. And I don't mean life support like put them on life support. I mean getting house life support, getting childcare life support, getting whatever kind of extra admin life support that you need in order to keep yourself sane, advance your career, make yourself happier, and what it takes to do that. And it's not just a simple sense of like, well, I'm going to get into that in a second because I have a lot to say. But I will say, please, when you're listening to this, suspend any disbelief, suspend any, oh, that must be nice for them, because you will all have that attitude at some point in this. I could never do that. Like, we're going to address all that stuff. So if you're tempted to tune out because you're like, that must be nice to have, I couldn't have that, I would never be able to, I don't have that kind of money, I don't have that kind of whatever it is, just suspend disbelief for a while and listen in, because I think you're going to learn something really powerful. So with me today, I'm going to start here with Jessica. Jessica, why don't you introduce yourself here to our audience of comms professionals?
I would love to. Thanks for having me, Tara. My name is Jessica Onick. I am a senior corporate communications professional. Most recently, I led internal and executive communications at GitHub, which is a software development company. I'm currently transitioning into a whole new career path. So for the last several months, I've been building a consulting business and going solo, and have just signed a first client, and I'm in kind of the building process of being a business owner, being a solopreneur, being, on my own as
Hooray!
we speak. So yay. Yes, it's very, very exciting, and I'm loving it. And I'm so jazzed about this path. And it's, we'll talk all about sort of how this topic plays into that, but it's an interesting pivot in my life that has required a different kind of help and a different kind of thinking about how I manage my time.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Jessica. And we also have Amy with us. Amy, introduce yourself and your professional sitch and your life sitch.
Yeah. So I'm Amy Lockmiller. I am a VP level comms executive at a Fortune 500 manufacturing company. I've been there for about 4.5 years. And at home, I have my husband, 3 kids who are 13, 6, and 2. And then I'm pregnant with twin little boys who are coming in the next, I don't know, couple of months, couple of weeks.
By the time this airs, they will be here. So
we'll have babies.
Hooray! 2 more babies. Bring them on. So we're talking today about, all of the life admin, right? The stuff that we need in order to elevate our careers. And Amy and I have talked about a little bit about the concept of, wouldn't it be amazing if companies offered this in benefits packages? Because this is what we really need, right? We don't want like pizzas and beer evenings. And like the 3 of us all came from agency world where they did do those like, celebratory bonding things where it was like, I don't know, for me, it was like beers on Thursday nights perpetually. Every single Thursday night was like that we'd get taken out for alcohol as our bonding experience. And that was like agency life, right? That was the bonus. That was the perk. God, what I wouldn't give for an agency or a company or whatever to give women, or not even women, anybody, executives, executive level, let's say senior director level and above, some sort of perk for life admin. Mm-hmm. And Amy and I have talked about this. I've actually written a bunch about it and put it out in content. And so if you want some more insight on this, just reach out to me and I'll send you some more of my content. And Jessica and I have threatened to start a business.
It might happen.
I'd love to your feedback on this, audience. I've been calling it Ask Alice because, we all need an Alice from the Brady Bunch in our lives. If you think about the Brady Bunch, Alice, like Mrs. Brady didn't work, but she was home. She had 6 kids who were at school, but like she still had Alice to do the grocery shopping and the food prep and the cooking and the cleaning and all the things, right? So like at some point we lost the plot and we told women like do that and do everything else too. And I say no, 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 hard no. Thank you. I will pass on that. And so what does that mean? That means that we need to think about what we need a little differently. It's not always somebody at work that we need. Yes, we probably do need some more support. And knowing our comms teams, they're probably budget shy and we probably do need more staff. But guess what? We also need some more life admin. So I'm going to start here with Jessica because I know she has kind of an interesting origin story on how this came up. So Jessica, tell us a little bit about what kind of life admin you have in your world and how this came to fruition for you.
Yeah, happy to. So I have, in addition to my job, I have 2 little girls. I've got a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old. And like most working moms, I am the primary parent. My husband, I've worked from home for most of my career. My husband has a job where he can't work from home and has a lot less flexibility. So I do the pickups, I do the drop offs, I do the homework, I do the sports, I do all the things in addition to working full time. But in my comms role early in my career, I did executive comms for an amazing, wonderful mentor of mine she was a chief operating officer at the time. Prior to that role, she had been a founder. And so she spent her career building and working a ton. And she also had a young family. And part of the narrative that we built for her as a founder and as an executive was around how she does it all, and how she juggles all the things. She had an executive platform where we had her speaking to other founders and to startups. And it was really important to her that she conveyed to these founders, especially to women founders, that we've kind of moved beyond the era of expecting one human person to do it all. And we can certainly have it all in our lives, but we can't do it ourselves. And so she was very vocal about the support that she had in her life. And that included a house cleaner, and it included a nanny, and it included a house manager who helped with her family's finances and planned her family's trips. It included obviously her executive assistant at work. And so she had this whole team around her. And it was important to her to really talk about that, and to convey to founders that sometimes it's in your best financial interest to bring some of that support in before it makes financial sense. You may be in a place with your business where you don't think you're bringing in the revenue to justify paying yourself enough to have a house manager or bringing on an assistant full time. And her point was kind of, no, like that's false. Like you're only going to crest that hurdle in your business company's revenue if you can dedicate the time to it. And so anyway, so my point is that as her comms partner, I was doing a lot of this writing for her, and we were talking about this at length and figuring out how to tell this story. And I internalized so much of it at that point in my career, to then, kind of fast forwarding a couple of years when I was reaching the director and senior director level in my company, and my time just got, it was just being sucked up by so much at work. And I was starting to lose the ability to really be present with my kids and to be present with my husband. And it kind of took me back to these conversations that I had with this leader. And I realized, I need help. I need help at home. And I need help with some things that I hadn't thought about needing help with before, like laundry, and like cleaning my house, and things that like I didn't think about, like being able to get help with at that kind of like middle management stage of my career. And so we pulled the trigger on that. So I have, I do a lot of the same things that most of us do. I have full-time childcare. My kids, I have one kid in school and one kid in daycare. I do a lot of grocery pickup. We don't walk through the grocery store, but the most important thing, the thing that has really changed my life, is that I have a house manager, or a house assistant or a family assistant. It can be, called a bunch of different things, but she's wonderful. And she comes to my house 2 days a week. And she does the laundry and she tidies up and she knows where my kids' clothes go and she culls the things that they've outgrown. And if we're going on a trip, she'll pack the kids' bags for me. If we've just come home from a trip, she'll unload everything and put suitcases away. She will do the grocery pickup for me. She'll go to all my Amazon returns. So it's just the administrative stuff that comes with running a household and running and raising kids, that she knows my house as well as I do now. And I mean, there are times when I can't find things and I'll text her and say, hey, do you know where my jean jacket is?
Oh
Because
my God, same.
she knows,
I'm like,
she
where
knows my
are my
house just as well as I do.
flip-flops?
Right.
Like, where did they go?
And
And
it's
she's
life
like, oh, I
changing.
saw them in your closet in the bottom underneath your. I'm like, how do you know
How
that?
do you know that? Yeah, it is truly life changing. It's having, and I think that the thing that I just want to be clear about is that I very specifically hired someone who loves this kind of work, right? This is someone who is so, like, she loves doing this. It fills it, like fulfills something in her to be to kind of have that, just like that organizational, like, management brain. And she's comes into my house twice a week, just like a complete, like, breath of fresh air, and is someone that I look forward to seeing. And I have to trust that she loves doing it because she tells me this and she wants more of this kind of work. So I think that that's so important, is that this isn't something that feels yucky, right? It feels actually very fulfilling and very symbiotic, and it's just completely life changing.
Hard agree and hard validation on that. That's kind of a good segue to my story, which is that I, as a business owner, I've been in business for 6 years now, building my career in agency side and then corporate side. And then, as all the listeners know, starting my own comms consulting firm. And part of that is also the Raise the Tide group for women in our field. And I realized at one point I needed someone to help me do the things that I didn't want to do, that I was sick of either arguing with my husband about doing, or like he should do some more of it, or just it wouldn't get done and my house would be a wreck. And so I was like, I don't need a nanny. I don't need, like, I don't know what I need. I don't know how to describe it. And so I talked with a friend about it. And she was like, oh my God, I have something like this, like what you're describing. And it's this. And what I was talking about was a little different, but I asked her how she found it, which is something I want to get into with you guys as well. How
Mm-hmm.
did you find the person? And what I did was I used sort of personality profiling and my own creative writing skills to write a job description for what I was really looking for. And what I was looking for, and I think I actually wrote this in the description, and those of you who are interested can reach out to me and I will send you the job description for this role and you can adjust it as you'd like. And I think at the very beginning, I was like, I don't need a babysitter. I need a me sitter. I need somebody that is willing to do and is interested in doing, the things that I would do if I had like 3 to 7, like 7 more hours a week and any interest in doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, frankly, like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have to think. And I think I wrote in there, like, I don't want to have to think about what I'm going to make for dinner. I just want it to appear in my refrigerator. I don't want to have to do my laundry. I don't want to have to change the sheets off of my kid's bed because it's a bunk bed and it's painful and it's like high up and it's like a girly one with all of the, like, looks like a house. It's hard to get into. God bless my house manager for doing it. I want grocery pickup to just be done. I want to come home
Mm-hmm.
from a trip and have my clothes like put away, cleaned, put in drawers. Like, I don't want to have to meal plan ever again. And so I looked into, like, I wrote this job description looking for somebody who, like you said, Jessica, enjoys this kind of work. Like, you thrive
Mm-hmm.
doing this stuff. This is what your jam is, like that kind of thing. And I immediately heard from a bunch of people. One of them was an absolute perfect fit, to the point where my niece is visiting today. My niece is 30, by the way. It's like she's a grown up, but she's visiting and she's like, "Oh my God, I love Aoife." That's her name, by the way. "I want an Aoife. I don't even need her to do anything for me, but like I want her to hang out with me because she's so nice." And I'm like, "Yes, because she pleasantly comes in and makes my life wonderful. She organizes drawers for me that haven't been touched in years. Like my junk drawer is no longer a junk drawer." Ah, so it's amazing. And how I found her, which I'll get to in we should all share our stories about how we found our people, but I found her by posting on my local Facebook babysitter board, like the mom's babysitter board. So because a lot of them are nannies who are just looking for some extra work because the kids are at school and like they have extra time. And so that's exactly what my house manager does. She comes to my house twice a week, and she comes during the times that the kids she nannies for at school. And that's how she earns a little bit extra money. And by the way, I consider it, not only is she like so necessary for me in my world, but I actually consider it also an act of service to support her. Like she, I won't share her story, but she's going through some stuff and that is financially impacting her family. And this is supporting, helping her, right? And it's work that she genuinely enjoys. It is a win all around, right? To your point, it doesn't feel yucky. And I want to share also, Jessica, you said three things that really struck me, which almost feel like a tagline here.
Take it.
The first was have it all, don't do it all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God, when did we get the message in our heads that we have to do all of the things and we have to do all of the things by ourselves? You either have a team at work or you'd like to have one. So why would you not want a team at home, right? You also talked about the things we love about having our house manager, where it's just like, oh my God, this peaceful feeling. And that you hired somebody who loves this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a key point. Like, I didn't hire somebody to come spend, like, come play with my child. I hired somebody to come do the things I don't want to have to do, the grown-up things that come with parenting that don't necessarily have to be done by me. Like that way I can spend that extra quality time with my husband and my child and do so in a way where I'm not being like, "Oh, sorry, I have to make dinner. Like, what do you need, honey? Like, oh, you need help with homework? I can't help you right now because I have to like chop the vegetables." No, thank you. My vegetables are already chopped
Well,
forever.
yeah, and it's, think about the sort of time money value of it, right? Like, I mean, if we look at our jobs, our, senior level corporate or solo jobs and break down the hour, like what we're making an hour, there is, if I'm looking at the administrative stuff that I have to do in my life, is it worth that hourly rate that I like of that I
Oh,
am making when I'm working? It's not worth it. The things that are worth it to me, I mean, spending time with my kids is worth way more than what I'm making an hour at work, right?
mhm.
Watching a movie with my husband is worth way more than that. I mean, yesterday my house manager was at my house, folding laundry and loading my dishwasher and tidying my house. And I used that time to go to my sister's house, who has a 5-day-old baby. And guess what I did there? I folded laundry and I loaded her dishwasher and I tidied up her house. But like, that, doing that at her house with her 5-day-old baby sleeping on her chest in the living room was worth that hourly rate to me, to be able to do something for someone else.
Sounds like you should take your person and be like, "Hey, would you be willing to do this as a
Yeah, yeah,
gift for my kid?" We've talked about
totally.
this before too for new moms. Like, give some like house support to your friends as a like short-term gift. Anyway, I love that. It's time to hear from Amy. Amy, let's hear a little bit about your life admin. What do you do? How do you do it? How did you find the person?
Yeah, well, so I think it's important for me to acknowledge that my husband's a stay-at-home dad, and so we do have a little bit of a different situation in that there's someone, we have somebody who can help run the house. We do have a housekeeper, and she comes in and cleans every couple of weeks, and we love her. My mother-in-law comes in every once in a while and helps with other various things. But what I've really found a lot of value in recently, especially being pregnant, and guys, I'm exhausted at this stage of my pregnancy with twins. But I use this service called Faye, and they call themselves family advisors, but it's essentially a personal assistant, and I'm able to have her do things outside of the home for me that my husband just, bless him, he has really great skill sets in a lot of different areas, and like hyper detail organizing is not is not it. That's
Yeah.
my thing. And so I needed like a second brain for myself, right? And so I it was just Instagram ads. My girlfriend Alex and I had been talking about like we needed something like this even since our 20s. And I finally pulled the trigger for like a Mother's Day birthday gift for myself. And I don't think I can ever go back.
So tell us what they do for you.
Also, so the big things that I have support with that has been game changing for my family. And we're about to be a family of 7. She manages our calendar, our family calendar, and all the appointments that go on it. So, we're getting ready. We're in mid-August filming this, right? And we're getting ready for back to school on the East Coast. And so that means we have to change all the schedules for piano lessons. That means soccer starting. That means, we have kids in multiple different schools with different school schedules. And so getting the entire year's school schedule so we know who has school what day and who doesn't. I mean, all that plus all of our doctor's appointments for like the entire year, haircuts, everything goes on there. And I don't have to do anything but look at my calendar and see where I have to show up, which is like an absolute godsend. She's also helped with, we're getting a postpartum doula so my husband and I can sleep a couple nights a week when the babies are here and not kill each other. We are getting support with postpartum meal planning, catering. She did all of the research and whittled it down to a couple different options for me to choose from, and is doing all the back and forth coordinating on what kind of meals we want. She helped plan our baby moon and schedule everything directly with the venue, our baby registry, like literally anything that I could think of that I need outside the home. It has been the biggest gift.
Yeah, that sounds, I remember you talking about the research for the postpartum doula. And first of all, I was like, oh, that's a thing. That's awesome. I wish I knew that back in the day, although I probably wasn't in the mindset where I would have invested in it for myself, though I should have. And second, I was like, oh, that's great. One thing that I find is that when the three of us end up talking about the support that we get from the people we work with, we come up with new ideas for each other. And I'll also share, I don't know if you've had this experience, but I talk about this so much with my fellow mom friends at school, at like wherever. I'm like, get yourself a house manager, a house assistant, whatever you want to call it. Get yourself. And so I'm like, I don't care if you judge me on this, which we'll get to in a second, but I want to be the power of example on this. And I want people to know that it is okay and it is life-saving. And I have a friend where they're doing it and it's like marriage saving for them, frankly. And let's just go around. Let's share a little bit about the thing, like, or the couple things that have made where you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I never want to do this ever again. Thank God I have my person to do this.
I mean, for me, it's 100% that calendar, man. That was the bane of my existence by a long shot.
She does the other things too. Like she makes appointments for you, right? Like
Yeah,
she's
she
done
makes
that.
all the appointments. Like I'm seeing a chiropractor right now twice a week, and like similar to my husband, I have a lot of gifts. Apparently, making appointments is not one of them, and getting them on the calendar properly. I always mess it up. I don't know what it is about me, but like, Dr. Amanda, thank you.
Nice. So what about you, Jessica?
For me, it's errands. It is the pile of every couple of days. It's the pile of, oh, these things need to go back to Amazon. These things I've got books that need to go back to the library. I've got to return it to Target. I've got like it's the piles of stuff. A Goodwill. Oh my gosh, like the like thrift store like donating bin that is just like constantly filling up with stuff. It's those, like it's that pile of stuff that gets just like magically removed from my house twice a week and taken to the places, dispersed to the places that they need to go. That just saves me. And then laundry. Like I actually love doing laundry. It's probably my favorite chore in the house, but there's so much of it.
Yeah.
And just like knowing that there is someone else, besides, my husband, who I do want to be clear does help when, but he's just not here as often. And that, there's just someone else who is able to do it, who knows where the things go. And, it takes a load off.
My husband jokes that we might be saving money by having our house manager now, because when we don't overbuy at the grocery store anymore, and I'm not leaving like vegetables in the refrigerator that have never been like cut, or like the salads that have never been eaten, whatever. We actually eat that stuff now and we're healthier because of it.
Mm-hmm.
But also because the things that I buy that get delivered to the house, because I will not go to a store anymore. I mean, I will, but you have to kind of force me, actually get returned. Not because I'm doing it or because he is, but because she is. She's like, oh, I see some packages by the door. Do you want me to drop that off or at UPS to get it returned? I'm like, yes, please.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
disposing of the boxes too. Like the packages get opened and then the boxes get removed from the house. It's amazing.
yeah. It's like, wait, what? The boxes don't just magically disappear. I'm kidding. That sounds so entitled. So yeah, I love that. I also enjoy, a big thing for me is my child. I have one daughter, and having the things that she has outgrown, because my kid is like growing like a weed. She's just so tall. Removed from her drawers and her closet without me having to like go through it myself and spend an afternoon cleaning stuff out, and doing the same with her toys and her toy room and things like that, where it's just like, oh, she doesn't fit in this size anymore. Can you just remove anything that is that size and put it in a bag and bring it next door for our neighbor next door? Yay. It's magically, now I don't have to be like, these pants don't fit anymore. Put them in the pile on the floor that at some point will get, thrown out. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do with that stuff. The donations, like they actually get donated. They don't have to sit around in the back of my trunk where I just drive around with them for 6 months before I actually make it to the donation place.
You know what's amazing about someone who is really good at this and really likes this, and just is like has a gift for this kind of work, is that I have noticed that my house manager, she's usually here during the workday, right? And which is also during the school day. So she doesn't know my kids well. They're not usually here when she is here, but she knows my kids, man. Like it's crazy the way that
Same.
she can go through toys, she can go through papers, she can go through artwork and say, oh, I think Madeline actually is going to really care about this one. You should keep this one, but I'm going to throw away these other ones. Like, and she's right. I mean, 90% of the time she's right. And it's such a, like, she has such a gift for just like it's an instinct, man. It's an instinct that I don't have.
Yeah. Mine's Aoife's pretty amazing with Megan. I mean, she is in the morning, early morning sometimes, sometimes before we even wake up, doing things downstairs, but she's like, hi, and she's got a lovely Irish accent. So she will speak Irish with my in-laws when they come over and hang out. And she loves my daughter. She's so good with kids because she is a nanny. That's her full-time role. And now my daughter has picked up on certain things that Aoife does, where she'll be like, I'm going to make this nice and neat for Aoife. So she'll like organize her bed for her, or she'll like, because she wants Aoife to be proud of her for organizing her toys herself. And it's the
That's cute.
most adorable thing to have this as an example, where it's an area where I would just fail miserably. Like, it's okay. I suck at that. And that is okay. Also, I can cook. I don't want to. I don't enjoy it. Neither does my husband. And I don't want to order food every freaking night. And I don't want to be like, oh, what do we have that I can just make begrudgingly? So having certain things on hand that she just always makes for me, like I have a salad for lunch every day now. Why? She makes me pre-cut, pre-made like salads that she just like takes care of and puts in containers where I can have five, because there's 5 days in my work week. And then on the weekends, I'm off doing other things. So I always have a salad for lunch. I always have my Greek yogurt for breakfast in a parfait form with fresh fruit cut up and inside of it, like things I would not do for myself that I should, but I don't. So, and I will tell you, the last magical thing to me is I do go away a lot. I go away for work. I go away for vacation, whatever. Coming home from travel and knowing I don't have to deal with the suitcases, especially when it's a family vacation, is like chef's kiss to me. Like, oh, you're just going to take care of that for me? You're going to unload everything and do the laundry and put it all away as if we never went. What is this magic? Right. So my husband has said, I don't even know what you pay her, but it's worth it, whatever it is. So one of the best things I could have done with for my family.
You know what's funny about that though, Tara, and you kind of mentioned it with your daughter is, you know, so many of us type A women in these positions, probably especially in functions like communications, we don't love accepting help or asking for help, right?
So true.
So we're
Mhm.
saying these things, and it's almost like mind blowing to us that we've even accepted this level of help. But I love seeing that modeled for our kids. And you know, your daughter cleaning up because she wants to make Eva proud. And my son says prayers at night for our housekeeper, which I think is so.
Oh my
Nobody's
gosh.
taking any of this for granted or
Yeah.
taking advantage of the support that we have for our family. We try to tell our kids, like, isn't it so wonderful that we have people who can help love and support us so we can live the way that we want to live. It's not just some entitled thing. This is the
Yeah.
village that we're supposed to be part of, that we've been kind of talked out of having somewhere along the way. This is the way that maybe it's supposed to be. And
100%.
my origin story with all this was, you know, shout out to Rayma Trainer. When I was in my early 20s, she was my local community pastor when I was living in New York City. And I was living in this apartment in Brooklyn with like 7 people in one bathroom and, you know, working crazy agency hours, and nobody was doing their chores, and like a lot of bit neurotic, especially that age in my life. And I was like, I don't want to do everybody's chores, but I need this done. And she was like, well, can you afford to get some help? And I was like, well, yeah, I guess so. And she's like, well, then you should do that. And it was just, there was no
Yeah.
judgment about it. And it was just such an obvious statement of fact. And, you know, I wish everyone had that in the young
Hmm.
20s. Like, if you feel like you have a little bit of expendable income, do something for your mental health.
Yeah. I think I was
Yeah.
31 when I got my first support in the form of a housekeeper
Hmm.
for my condo in the city. I was single at the time and I was like, I shouldn't need this kind of help. And I was like, no, I don't want to clean my shower and my toilet and my like kitchen and like scrubbing on my weekends. I want to enjoy it. I have a really high power job, I'm spending a ton of time doing it. I want to enjoy my time off. So I don't want to clean. So I got somebody to help clean. And that was my step one. I think the house manager thing, I tried other things first. I tried meal kit delivery services. I tried getting pre-made meals delivered. I was like, I don't need that. I need like more. I need something different, right? And that's when I found the house manager slash house assistant solution. I also have, so I have an 8-year-old and she started hating after school care, like hating going there. And I didn't want to force her anymore, but I also have a husband who physically has to get up and go to work. He's an electrician. That is not a job you can do remotely. And so I was like, well, if she's going to be home at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm running a business, I'm not going to stop working at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Sure. Could I sign on later and do more work later in the day? I don't want to. That's not the life that I want to live. So I chose to get a babysitter from the local high school who wanted a part-time job but was not 16 yet, so she couldn't get a part-time job. And she came over 2 days a week and would babysit my kid from so Megan would come home by 3. So I'd pick her up, bring her home. It'd take about 15 minutes for pickup and drop off. And then my babysitter would be here between 3 and 5. And by 5 o'clock, either I was done or my husband was home. So 2 hours to play with an older girl who would like play Barbies with her and play games and make her laugh. And it was like a gift to my child. My kid loved this experience. And then when I was done, she was even more geared up to spend fun quality time with me. She wanted to read books with me. She wanted to extend the game. Like that was amazing. And we don't have her now because it's summer and, summer camp and all of that noise. But we go back to school in after Labor Day here in Massachusetts. So we're latecomers, but she will be back. And I'm excited for that, for her and for me and for this young girl who's getting her first job experience. So let's talk a little bit about the mindset stuff like you had to get over. So for me,
Yeah.
I had to get over the stories that I was telling myself in my head. Like, only rich people do this. What makes you think you deserve this? Why can't you just do it yourself? Other people do this. Why can't you just make it happen for yourself? Like, are you that lazy? All of these stories, right? That is just pure, terrible nonsense that we tell ourselves. But I had to get to the point to recognizing that it was actual nonsense. Like, what did any of that happen for you guys?
Oh yeah. I battle, I mean, I still, even in this conversation right now, like I'm battling the sense of guilt around it, right? Like I don't think any of us grew up, or most of us didn't grow up seeing our parents have this kind of help, right?
Right.
So
Oh,
we sort of,
definitely not with a single mom who worked two
same,
jobs and had three kids and lived in a
100%,
ranch, shared my bedroom my
100%.
entire life. Like, definitely not.
Yeah, yeah, same. So like you know, it's really hard to even recognize that you have this model in your head of what we are supposed to do as grown-ups. So you're supposed to, you know, we're supposed to get the great job and make the money and work hard and be damn good at what we do, and we're also supposed to raise kids, and part of raising kids means means making sure that they have very full and fulfilling lives and have new experiences and experience the world. And we're also supposed to make sure that our houses are clean, and we're supposed to make sure that the laundry is done. We're supposed to have strong marriages, and we're still like, we have, like, you know, we've built this model, and this model has been built for us. And I still very, you know, I've kind of pushed myself to say, you know what, F that. Like I can't, I just straight up can't do it, just can't do it. And so, you know, there are certain things that I need help with, and that makes sure that we can be happy and healthy and fulfilled in the rest of our lives. But even pushing past that doesn't make the guilt, you know, go away. Like I've acknowledged that I can't do it, but I still feel like I should be able to do it.
Yeah.
And it feels like it feels a little bit like a failure. And then it's a mindset that we have to get past. And having you guys, you know, having other people who have made the same choice, I think really helps with that. And hearing that, to your point, Tara, it's, you know, I mean, I'm starting a new business. Like I literally don't have an income right now. So I can't, believe me when I say, like, the financial decision, like I am not rolling in dough, you know, like this is not an easy financial decision to make. And it's certainly not coming with any sense of entitlement to it. There is privilege in it, and I think we have to acknowledge that. But it's very much a you know, a financial decision that comes with sacrifices in other areas, because it's what's important for my mental health and for my family's
Yeah.
daily functioning.
I find that I don't consider it a failure anymore. I kind of get amped up and angry about it. And like,
Yeah,
no, the system is wrong. And I kind of take on the mentality that Amy shared, which is like, we're supposed to have a village. We're
yeah.
supposed to have a lot of people that are supporting us. We're supposed to have this stuff. And so my focus is more on like, get everybody else on board with this. And you're a
That's why I
hundred,
talked to you too about it, because it
yeah, it
reminds me. It
riles you up.
reminds me to get the hell over the guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's also, I 100% agree. It is a privilege. And it is a privilege that I wouldn't have had at a different point in my career. But we're talking about a specific stage in your career, right? I'm not telling 25-year-olds to go out and get a house manager tomorrow if you live in a one-bedroom condo. I'm talking about the gradual growth and then the decision at some point that it is okay to go get more and go get something different and not keep trying to sit on that merry-go-round of insanity where you're trying to solve the same problems with the same solutions that don't work for you. It's okay to like find a different solution. It's actually good and you'll be proud of yourself. And so I shout about this stuff from the rooftops. And I know that sometimes that can make me seem entitled and it can make me seem like, oh, what must be nice? She must be rolling in the dough and all that stuff. But I also had those things, those voices in my head that say, well, I should put that money towards retirement, or I should put that money towards more money for my kids' college plan, or I should put that money towards whatever, right? Whatever more, whatever, and I'm putting this in air quotes here, more responsible thing that we're told we should be putting our money towards. And the thing is, I don't think, and I do put money towards retirement in my Child's 529 plan, just as a heads up. But it's kind of like I redirected money that was going towards childcare to this. And it has never, like, I would pick this above anything else that I've invested in. If I had to pick between her and my house cleaner, I'd pick her. If I had to pick between, like, but the thing is, I don't have to choose. I built something where I can sustain it, and the time that I get in return, and the emotional support that I now feel inside myself, and the relationships that I've been able to form in a different kind of way with my husband and my child is just so powerful that I wouldn't trade it in for anything at this point. Amy, tell us a little bit about your mindset, because I know it's been a little different for you, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty black and white thinking
Uh,
about many, many things. And I think this is one of them. I see this as something that is like, this fuels your life. This is an investment in your life. We talk about business of, we talk about business investments, and we're all here to support these business objectives. If your career objective is to X and your life objective is to Y, I think things like this will help you get there faster. But it's all about this kind of like values-based living. And I'm with you on the like, I don't love hearing like the, oh, it must be nice. Like it is. And we are all operating from a place of privilege. But like for my family, like I don't care about having luxury cars. I just
Mhm.
don't care about that kind of thing. We drive old cars. We don't care about travel. We're real homebodies. Like so we actually rent our home. We don't own it, which I know people have all kinds of feelings about, but for us, we're making some of these short-term sacrifices in order for much longer term gains. Like let's just talk about money, which we shouldn't, but like my income has tripled in the last 6 years since my son was born. Like
Wait, did you say let's talk about income? Maybe we shouldn't?
no,
Did I
because
hear
we're,
that
we're
right?
not we're not air
Oh,
quotes.
oh, air quotes. We shouldn't. We're not
Right.
supposed to talk about
Yeah, we're in
money.
the part of our career where like, it's going to come if we keep going.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, well, let me just push off home ownership for a year or so that I can not burn out and drive myself crazy with
Yeah.
all of these things that don't bring me joy, take a lot out of my energy. They don't allow me to be the worker or the mom that I want to be, or the wife that I want to be. And so it's kind of like if you're looking at what do you value as a family, it can make you feel less guilty about some of those ways that we spend money on this stuff, because it does cost money to pay for services.
Right. And it should.
It should.
Um, and for me, I wanted to. I kind of consider it also like this is one way that I'm giving back to my community, to other women.
Yeah.
The people that I work with happen to be women. So that's kind of, I also can look at it through that lens, through this lens of providing value to other people. But I love that you acknowledge, Amy, that you're kind of a black and white thinker. You're like, yeah, no, we're going to do this. What's your job description, Tara? Send it to me. Like, let me go get somebody now.
I'm gonna go use those. I
Uh,
really like this is a pretty popular book, but Remit Safety's book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, was like a huge game changer for
yeah,
me
I've read
in
that.
thinking about this. And I'm sure a lot of people have read it. It's like, it's obviously very popular on the kind of personal finance, in the personal finance genre. But he talks about, I forget the word. I always think of them as money motivators. I think he calls them money dials. But
Mm,
he's like 7 things, and you kind of his point here is, listen, when you're looking at how to spend your money, think about the things that matter. You spend lavishly on the things that matter to you, and like save ruthlessly on the things that don't. And for me, convenience is something that really, really matters to me and really makes a difference in my life. And Amy, to exactly your point, things that matter a little less to me, my husband and I hate going out to eat. Like we are not foodies. We're not going to go to 5-star Michelin starred restaurants. That's not, we just don't enjoy it. I would much rather spend my money on a house cleaner and the convenience of grocery pickup than these, big lavish date nights, or big expensive vacations. And so kind of like I like the concept of motivators or dials, or kind of like, what are the buckets of things that you're willing to just like really pour your money into to make your life better? And then where are you willing to really extremely cut back, because you just don't care?
Yeah, we know that we could talk about this forever, because even in our conversation about how this conversation would go, we talked about all the things for about a half an hour. So we could go on forever. We won't. I'd love to share with the women out there just one last message, and men, anybody out there who's listening. You are likely in this field because you're an ambitious overachiever and you've had to figure it out on your own all along the way. At some point, you are able to go get help in ways that aren't just connected to your career to help advance your career and support your entire life, because you're a whole human. So let's invest in the whole human aspect of your life. And that will pay dividends in your career and everywhere else. And if you are looking for the job description that I mentioned for a house assistant, you can reach out to my team. I will put the email address in the show notes, and we will send you back that description. One great way of looking at it is to look for your local like babysitter board and post it there, and then you just got to vet the candidates. Jessica, I didn't ask you, did you find your candidate that way? Did you find it a different way? Same way.
Yeah, local moms, not babysitters, but yeah, like a local moms Facebook group.
And we'll also put a link to FAY, the organization that Amy uses, in show notes as well, in case you're interested in some of that life admin work that she gets done. And just my overall message is to all of you is, go get help. Why keep doing it alone? Invest in yourself, okay? You are worth it. All right. Any last messages for the ladies and gentlemen out there? No, they're shaking their heads no, people. So this has been another episode of the Communications Business Advisor. Tune in next time, and we'll be talking more about all things corporate communications, elevating our field and the people in it. Thank you. If you're interested in working with me to advance your work and your team's reputation as critical business advisors, never order takers, check out taramcdonough.com. Thanks for listening to the Communications Business Advisor podcast. If you found this episode helpful, please leave a rating or a review. It helps people find us, and we can't ignite a movement without sharing the message. See you next time, where we'll continue to do the work to elevate our field's reputation and elevate the careers of the people in it.